welcome back to my channel. To the new subscribers, welcome to the family and thank you so much for being here. To those who are returning, thank you for being here. This wouldn't be without you. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about rematching. I'm going to be sharing a story about a rematching process that I went through earlier this year. So yeah, let's get into this video. So earlier this year, I matched with a French family on Facebook, on an au pair group on Facebook. They had a profile or have a profile on Au Pair World, and so I could check them out on Au Pair World too, but I initially matched with them on a Facebook group, and I spoke to them. We had Skype calls, we shared what we're looking for from each other or from the program, and we agreed that whatever we were offering to each other was kind of what we were looking for, and we matched, and we had the contract and the paperwork ready and working on it. And then early February I left the Netherlands and moved into their home in France, in the north of France. The first few weeks were really tough coming from the Netherlands, and prior to that coming from Namibia. I had no background of French apart from merci and bonjour. I had no background of French whatsoever, and this was a French family. Supper was in French, everything was in French, and it was a very difficult time for me to be with them. Firstly, during the lockdown, where I can't have any other human contact, so to say, where I can't have any other sort of communication. I could call my family, I could call my friends, I could call my Dutch family, but that was all visual, that was all on the phone, and like I didn't have any other connection or whatever with anybody else, and I couldn't go out. So literally I was just like really locked down with this family that didn't really speak a lot of English. I mean, they spoke English, they could speak English, their parents could speak English, and so they needed me to teach their children English. The children understood a little bit of English, and the parents did speak English, but not with the children, not at home. They spoke a lot of French. So the first weeks of being with this family, the second week of moving into this family's home, we had a small holiday situation where we went to the French Alps and we went skiing and stuff. It was an amazing experience for me because that was the first time seeing snow. It was the first time skiing. I was horrible. It was a disaster. I was all over the place. I was falling. I was apologizing left, right, and center because I couldn't brake. I was literally falling into people and I was bumping into people, and it was hilariously fun. So that was a great experience. And so the second week of being with them, we're already gone on holiday. That holiday trip was the weirdest one because as fun as it was, I still had no communication whatsoever. They didn't speak a lot of English in the home. They had a friend of theirs, a couple friend that came with two children, and so I was on holiday. I wasn't working, so I didn't need to watch the kids or anything. Literally I would be in the room, then I would take a walk and just see the neighborhood and look at the snow and whatever, and then come back and we have supper together where they speak French all the time, and maybe take 10 minutes of their time to ask me where I'm from and what I studied and what I like to do, and that was the end of it. And then the next 2 nights there's no more questions. It's just do you want more food? No thank you. Yes please. And that is about it. And so that holiday, that 1 week away, was really hard for me because I also didn't really speak to them a lot. So my biggest problem with the family was that they needed me to speak English or teach the children English, and they were not speaking any English with the children. They didn't have a environment where the kids could also be forced kind of to speak the language or learn or pick up some words, because it was easier to express in French, and so they just let it. And so by then the lockdown had gotten initiated in March, and so we were literally slowly moving into the lockdown situations, and none of us knew that, but by the time lockdown had come, my host dad was working from home and homeschooling the kids in the morning, and then I had to do like English lessons in the afternoon. I had no help whatsoever from him, like to encourage the kids or to help me get them to sit down to do homework, because they were are very independent children, like meaning like if they say they don't want to do something, they really don't want to do it, and you can't force them. And they wouldn't make them, my host dad really didn't make them do, apart from like the normal school homework that they know they have to do for English. I felt like they knew they had an option and they just never chose to do it. And so already that was March. I had done a few lessons with them in Feb. I had done a few like really from like I done a few lessons with these children. I didn't do a lot of lessons with these children. Going into the lockdown, that little progress I had with them went down the drain. The dad was working from home, so prior to that he was going to work. So if they needed anything, they had to speak to me. They had to ask me in English because I knew no French. I literally was picking up words from them, and like around the house, I started really having like an understanding of the French language a little bit. Literally, I can't even rate it because I was at no level to say like anyway, I was picking up a bit of French but still couldn't make a conversation. So when things got too hard, I had to use Google Translate, or when I really needed to send through like a message to them, like they need to do this, or we need to go to school, or we need to pick whoever up from dance classes or whatever, I had to use Google Translate. And so other times when we were just hanging around the house and they asking me for like gutter or like a snack or a treat or something, I would make them speak English to me, or would like play a game with a reword, and then they have to use English words to make small sentences. And it was pretty cool. Before the lockdown it was okay, but when the lockdown came into play and the host dad was home a lot, I stood no chance. They spoke to the dad all the time. They needed help, they asked him. They never came to me for anything. There were 3 children who loved to play with each other, so I didn't really have to play with them either, apart from do English lessons. Initially the family just needed somebody to help them with the children and get them going into the English, and I didn't need to cook, I didn't need to do laundry, I didn't need to clean, I did not need to do anything. And so with that said, the children not wanting to do any English lessons and whatever, and me struggling to get them to do anything, and the dad not helping, I was left doing nothing. And so I spoke to the parents and I asked them to speak more English at supper, and I asked them to just be a bit more open to create the environment where the children are kind of like forced to speak the language and just get out of the comfort zone. If they're going to ask you, can I have some water in French, make them do it in English. Those are the suggestions I gave, but that went unnoticed. They refused. They continued in French. And at the end of the day, I would sit at a supper table with these people where they have a full-blown French conversation, and I'm just having my meal and daydreaming about whatever and thinking about what I'm going to do after supper because I don't understand nothing. And then in between there, they'll ask me how my day was and do I want more food, and literally that's all conversation I got. So apart from it being difficult for me to get the kids to do anything and not getting any support or help from the parents, also just having a normal adult conversation with my host or with that host family was impossible. I did not speak to them about anything if it did not relate to the children. I didn't have that, and I am a very communicative person. I really like to talk and express and whatever, and getting to the point where I couldn't even just talk about normal day-to-day things because of a communication barrier that we had. And it's not because they didn't speak English, it's just because they were not open to that. Like, we have supper and it's good night. And like, for example, with my current host family, we have like movie nights, and like after the kids have gone to bed, my host mom would like offer like, do you want to drink something, and we'll like sit down and just hang out and whatever. And I didn't have that, you know, with that family. And so I decided that I was gonna rematch. I decided that I was gonna look for a new family, because I was really not happy. I was going into a very slow phase of depression. I was really losing myself. I was losing a lot of my persona. I was literally just going down the drain. It was so bad. Every time I spoke to my friends, or like the 2-3 friends that I spoke to about the situation, every time I called them, I was unhappy. I was probably complaining about something. I literally just started to complain so much more than I usually did before. Like, I'm a person that I just deal with my things, and complaining is not really a thing. But that period, I was complaining so much. I was unhappy all the time. I feel like it was also affecting my friends. It was putting a lot of weight on them, because now they have to listen to me, they have to advise me, and that is every day I'm sad about something. Every day I'm not happy. Every day I'm just losing myself. Or they'll call and they're trying to have like just a chilled conversation, and I'm not in it, because like I was losing pieces of myself. It was a horrible experience. It took me 2 months to decide to go. It took me 2 months to leave that family. And my Dutch host dad said it took me too long. He said 2 months is way too long to hold on. And I felt like, okay, you know, first month I'm still trying to get into the situation and just get into the family and the routine, and then the second month we'll start working on it, right? My Dutch host dad felt that it was too long of a wait to make the choice. And so when we spoke about it, and so I spoke to them, I called, like we had a small meeting where we kind of spoke about these things that we're not happy with, or things that I wasn't happy with. And the response I got from them was literally like a total opposite. They were not open to any of the suggestions I was making. And so that brought me to the point where I was just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna look for a different family. And 1 week after I told them that I was going to look for a different family, I matched with my current family. We spoke, we Skyped a lot. My host mom is amazing. The kids are really sweet. They can be like really mean other days, and then other days, or most of the other days, they are like really just great children. So we had Skype, we had a few video calls before my coming, and we were getting ready. We were getting all the documents ready, because then it was like during the lockdown, everything was on lockdown. We couldn't go anywhere without a declaration. We couldn't do anything without that declaration. And I was really worried about traveling from the north of France all the way down to the south, with the host lockdown situation. But it went really smooth. My current host dad picked me up in Paris. It just felt good to move to this family, because they really wanted me. They showed it, they said it, they expressed that they wanted me. They spoke to me every day. They texted me. They would send me pictures of what the kids were doing. If they were swimming outside and it's a hot warm day, they would send me pictures. And just to be wanted to that level, to that extent, just made me just kind of like wake up. Like literally I was just dying, and I was just like, yes, I was like awake. I was ready to take on this life thing. And also they made I feel like they made a huge sacrifice to pick me up in Paris, because that was 16 hours of driving, 16 to 18 hours of driving for my host dad and my current host dad. And for him to come all that way to pick me up just said so much about the family and what they were looking for in an au pair and in the program. And basically just somebody to be involved in their family, and they showed that they would be involved in my life, giving me my space and giving me all that, and still wanting me and still wanting to be involved. And so I got to this family, and I've been with this family for 4 or 5 months now, and it's been the best decision I've ever made for myself. And it's been one of the best decisions I've made, to move and to leave a bad situation, to leave when things are bad, to move and leave when you're not happy. So if you're an au pair and you're out there and you're really going through the most with your host family, know that there are families who will want you, or who want you, and who want what you will offer them. There's a family out there that would love to have you. And so if you're with the family right now and you're not happy and you're not being treated well, you can go. You're not a tree, you can move. Pack your things after trying to sorting it out, after trying to sort it out, pack your things and go. You don't have to stay. Reach out to your agent, reach out to your agency. You can reach out to me on my socials, and we can talk and find solutions that will work for you and bring you a change or help you move. Also, if you're out there and you're not an au pair and you're just going through the most, you're not a tree. You can make a change. If it hurts you and you don't like the place where you're at, make that change. Pack your bags and go. Make the change if you need to. Do not stay in a situation where you're not happy. Do not stay in a situation where you're not treated well, and do not stay at a place where you're not growing, because you are literally just slowing down the pace and the growth of your own personal life. And so with that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Also do share, and I will see you in the next video.